Charlie Kirk, he's the weird young face of conservatism who started Turning Point USA, an organization dedicated to going around high schools, colleges, and educational institutions to stop the leftist mind virus from spreading. But not only that, he's also the worst thing associated with my generation, the millennials. If you thought a quirky little obsession with pumpkin spice was bad,
it's pumpkin spice cream cheese for my crispy bread!
this guy is essentially the pumpkin spice yellow cake of our generation. But there may be some silver lining, because the other day I saw a clip of Charlie Kirk getting absolutely manhandled in a debate with one of these college students. The thing about Charlie Kirk's conservative ideals are they really don't stand up on their own when looked at with any amount of scrutiny. So we're gonna watch this debate, we're gonna see what comes out of it, if anything comes out of it, because the thing about a debate is it's not really about anybody listening to the other person. It's kind of about winning and losing. It's kind of a pointless endeavor in some regards. I have a feeling this is probably going to be like nobody's going to come out of this debate learning anything. But it was nice to see somebody who knew how to take Charlie's ridiculous thoughts and ideas and kind of reverse them on them. The thing about debating conservative ideals can be, a lot of them are not based around logic or anything like that. So they don't necessarily add up when you put them under the proper scrutiny. So we're going to see if that happens here, and we're going to laugh at good old Charlie. I mean, he's always good for a laugh. We know that. Let's take a look. And guys, one thing really quick before we hop into this video. I just finished recording it and watching through the first question that's asked here, which we're going to discuss today, and it is about abortion. It's some tough things get brought up here, okay? So trigger warning for anybody who, if they're gonna hear about this sort of stuff, is gonna feel bad. This is not the video for you, okay? Charlie Kirk is gonna get clowned on a lot of other ways. So if you really wanna see Charlie Kirk getting dunked on, but you're not gonna have a good time sitting through this subject matter and hearing a gross conservative talk about it, then please go hang out. I got a Sonic Adventure video. Boom, good vibes, okay? That's a good time. This is not a good time. This is a bad time. But we're gonna have some laughs about some of the dumb stuff Charlie says, and then we're gonna have some good conversation about some serious stuff. So if you're still with me, let's dive in.
Do you think men can give birth?
I think that
yes or no question.
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they
Assigned male at birth, so people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
So what do you say in some cases women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers.
So what's the difference?
One big thing about Charlie Kirk too is he really stands on the fact that he thinks college is a scam. So that's one of the things about Turning Point. They wanted to eliminate... One of the other things about Charlie is, he hates college. He thinks it's pointless. So I'm sure that's going to come up in these debates, and he's going to make a fool of himself.
The difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb.
That was actually the best point somebody made.
It's not about the cells.
No,
it's not about... No, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Want to say it one more time?
No, I'm speaking.
Hello, everyone. I am Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, and I am surrounded by 20 woke college kids. My first prompt is, abortion is murder and should be illegal.
Can I maybe?
Okay, hello, what's your name?
This format is like ridiculous. I didn't realize they had to run for the chair. I don't really like that, but whatever.
Juliana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can
you.
we get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great. And then murder is the intentional taking of life, different than killing or sudden death. So murder would be the intent taking another life. Do we agree with that?
Okay.
Okay, and then we agree that murder in general in society should be illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I do want to preface that I'm a Catholic. So I think one really important thing that the Bible says is to not judge. And just going back to the topic, I I think there's a big difference between.
Wait, why did he give her that look? Because I'm pretty sure he's like Catholic. Like, what? I'm pretty sure he's like a fundamentalist. Why did he like look at her like, why are you bringing religion into this?
Cells in utero than a living, breathing, existing being. And while I do believe it's murder, and that's just my personal belief, right? I don't believe in telling people what to do with their bodies. That's not up to me, and it's not up to us as well as Christians to judge.
Should we prevent murder in society?
For sure, yeah.
Then it should be illegal.
That's kind of cool, the flags.
But I think that it's really different, right? Because, these people aren't.
Sorry, nice to meet you.
That wasn't really going anywhere.
Okay, what's your name?
Naima.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, can I just ask, at how many weeks do you think that a fetus is viable?
Well, viability and moral worth are two different things.
No, but I'm asking you, at how many weeks do you think a fetus is viable?
Well, at about 20 weeks, a baby can survive outside of utero.
So it's actually 24 to 26 weeks?
Well, it's 20. The youngest ever in a NICU unit actually happened in San Diego, not far from here, and survived at 20 weeks.
Okay, so under Roe v. Wade, 93% of abortions happened in the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. That's 93% of the abortions happened well before a fetus is technically viable as a form of life.
So let's go into viability. So what is it about, let's say, a 6-week baby that has a heartbeat, its own DNA, fingerprint, brain waves, that is less moral worth than an 88-year-old?
The thing is, too, with like the whole fetus viability thing, first of all, Charlie Kirk, I just hate the fact that Charlie Kirk is talking about abortion at all. This debate, this question of abortion is so stupid. There's like an implication on the right that anybody would get an abortion for fun or something like that, or that like. First of all, it just doesn't happen like that. Nobody's doing it for fun. Nobody's getting pregnant with the hopes of getting an abortion or something like that. This is a medical decision between an individual and their doctor. Nobody has any right interfering with that at all, regardless of what their beliefs are. There's no reason for anybody to interfere with anybody else's medical decisions that are made with a medical professional. That's insane.
Than an 88-year-old right now with dementia in a home down the street.
Okay, the difference between an unborn baby and an 80-year-old, besides just the fact that like an 80-year-old is somebody who's lived, they are living right now. Forget that. Look, even if you think that an unborn fetus is, a human, they cannot live outside of the body within the time that most abortions happen, and even abortions that happen past that 13-week period. Again, nobody's doing it for fun. So it's really disgusting the way he talks about this stuff. To make that comparison is absolutely inhumane, right? Our senior citizens have value, obviously, 80-year-old, like, this is just nuts.
That person requires assistance, requires help. Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
Again, at 6 weeks, a fetus can't survive outside of a woman's body. Why is this even like a thing? It's not a question of moral value or anything like that. Again, there's just an underlying implication to all of this that somebody would have an abortion for fun. It's just disgusting. This guy's gross, man.
Mean in Latin.
What the f***? I'm sorry, is this
it means little human being.
Ooh, this smile is okay.
Requires help.
His face.
Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the f***? I'm sorry, is this
it means little human being.
Oh, look at that face. Oh my God, that is a nightmare. Wait, nobody should look like this when they're ever debating abortion. This is disgusting. He's so gross, man. He's so disgusting. I hate this dude.
Ugh, his smile is very creepy. Okay.
Smiling is. Creepy?
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back to.
Yo, that's the debate right there. No, that's the debate right there. That's it. I mean, I don't even need to watch the rest of this. You win. You win. You absolutely win. That was the weirdest face ever made, and I'm so glad they called it out. That's oh my god, that's funny.
We're losing track here.
No, but is what species is the fetus?
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is
wow.
viable.
So,
now I want to talk to you about something.
All right, I will with debate. Okay, here's the thing too. I don't think her calling it a parasite is necessarily good. Technically, in a way, yes, because again, it can't survive outside of a woman's body. So, like, if you're talking about like the dictionary definition of parasite, then I guess. But I think that phrasing, I think that comes across bad. You know, the thing about debate and stuff like this is not, you don't have to bend to your opponent's, like, you know, vernacular necessarily, but you do sort of have to, I just wouldn't use the word parasite. I think there's a better way to make that point. And I don't know, I'm sure Charlie will say something about that or something like that.
Hold on, I can't let you
quickly.
get past that. Are you saying a baby is a disease or a tumor?
A parasite is not a disease.
Right, so he's automatically jumping on that language, just like missing the point. But yeah, that's the thing about debate. And it looks like, and she's got a couple flags here too, so I think people are, you know, it's just not the right language, but I get the point that they're trying to make.
It's not a disease and a tumor. Those are not the same thing. A parasite is defined as something that cannot survive outside of its host. A baby, before it is viable, cannot survive outside of a woman's womb.
Got it. So let's extrapolate that.
It is not a living organism.
Are old people with Alzheimer's and dementia that are being assisted every day, are they?
He keeps going back to this old people thing. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't equate. It absolutely doesn't equate. Again, you know, old people are like people who have lived full lives. Like they're still people. What are you talking about? Like this? No.
Assisted every day. Are they parasites?
No, they're not parasites. They're human beings who are on the brink of death.
Got it. So my
they're not going to be able to survive.
4-month-old that requires mom's breast milk and requires daily changes and feedings cannot survive without its own. Is my 4-month-old a parasite?
Your baby can breathe on its own. Your baby.
Yeah, like exactly what? Your 4-month-old is a parasite? That doesn't make sense, dude. Because even like she said, even if you don't like the language she used, she even said the definition of a parasite is just something that can't live without its host. Like, it's connected, it's attached to the host. A baby, a born baby, 4 months old, is not attached to the host. Yeah, it needs to eat milk and it needs to be taken care of, but that does not equate. You got a lot of false equivalencies here that Charlie uses, and that's going to have to be something that is dealt with tactfully. So I think this is not going to go anywhere. Obviously, more flags are coming up. So,
baby can drink water from its mouth to its stomach.
But it cannot.
Your baby can eat
it hunt?
food.
Can it gather? Can it reason?
But that's not what.
He's a freak, man. Can it hunt? Can it gather? Can your baby hunt? Can your baby gather? Does it pick the right berries? No, I don't think so. Dude, this guy's a freak.
Qualify something as being a living organism.
Being
a living organism simply means, can you survive outside of a womb, outside of your host?
Got it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Why does that then equate to moral viability?
It equates to scientific viability.
Why? Under what standard?
Because it is not alive, and you are advocating for the rights of something that is not technically a life.
Got it. So what?
Regardless, like, the fetus is attached to someone with a life, and their life has value. It's absolutely a person's choice whether they get an abortion or not. This is a private decision, and again, nobody's doing it for fun. So this is disgusting. Like, moral viability. That's really gross way. That's a really gross way of making people, you know, feel some sort of guilt about getting an abortion, something that's already really, really difficult. So I hate this guy. He's gross. I'm going to say it a lot.
While sacrificing the needs of the human woman who is alive.
Got it. So, but a mom can survive
Yes.
without the baby in her,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yes.
The baby cannot survive without the mom.
Yes.
But a mom cannot survive without her lungs. So it's not her body, it's in her body. It's not
Yeah,
her
I
DNA,
know.
so it's not her choice. So it's
It actually is directly her DNA.
it's
It is 100%. It's 50% of her DNA.
half her DNA.
She was making a lot of good points. And I think, a lot of times people, the way they were presenting things, they were presenting them straight facts, hard up. And people don't always respond well to that in a debate, especially when you're debating somebody who's going off of sort of, moral things that are more flexible, right? Well, what's moral viability? That's really flexible compared to scientific viability, right? So Charlie can kind of move his post around in a lot of different ways, because again, it doesn't have to stick to logic, right? It doesn't have to stick to the same logic that is being used on the other side necessarily. Because if you're arguing pro-abortion, pro-science, pro-facts, you need to stick to those facts, right? And it can be difficult to present them in ways that are going to get people on your side, or when you're dealing with somebody who is so insistent upon their moral beliefs, right, without anything that actually backs those beliefs up, it's really hard to just tell somebody, even when you have facts, even when you have science, right? It's hard to say this is scientific viability and bring it to a person and be like, well, I'm going against moral viability. That could be anything. Moral viability can change from person to person. And, obviously we need to coexist in this world together, and we need to come to some sort of not agreement or even compromise, but there has to be an understanding of, what is right or wrong in a way. I think they did good. I liked what they were bringing, and I liked they had a good vibe about them. So let's use next.
He's gonna win, I'm telling you. This could take a while.
Okay, first of all,
Do we have our terms correct? We agree?
Actually, no. So first of
Okay,
all,
got it.
I'd like to refine our terms. I
Got
have
it.
2 points to bring up after that, though. So you define murder as intentionally killing a human being. I
This
think
guy
that's
has a
very
debate
poor
lord
way to
vibe
define
right
murder,
off the
because if
bat.
someone were to
He's
break into my
redefining
home and
terms.
point
I
a
like
gun
that.
at
That's
the
good.
heads of
That's a
me
good
and
thing to
everybody
do.
I
So
love,
let's see.
and I
Let's get into
intentionally
this.
kill. I think that's a very poor way to define murder, because if someone were to break into my home and point a gun at the heads of me and everybody I love, and I intentionally kill them to prevent them from killing my family, I don't think I murdered them, right?
He said unalive. He's an online dude.
Right? So I would define murder as the unjustified termination of a human life.
You're making a good point. Let me further clarify that. So self-defense is
Right.
very warranted.
Exactly, right?
But I can see where you're going to go with how that has to go with abortion, but we can go down that journey in a second.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of do want to give you my argument insofar as why I'm pro-choice, why I think it's justified. But first, I think that, your position is quite absurd, right? Because you're saying that it is murder to kill a human being, right, at any point in development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent its implantation, intentionally killing it.
A great point. So let's see what Charlie has to say about it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not necessarily the same thing as terminating a fertilized egg.
Why?
For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not the same thing. Preventing the production of progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay, yeah,
Do you?
so preventing fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
So what do you say in some cases, women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not. They're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that.
Wait, so we only need to know for sure if something was killed or not for them to be murderers. That makes no sense, Charlie.
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
Well, so you're asking two separate things. If they knew for certain, to be more clear, that I have a fertilized egg and I'm going to take a drug to prevent that fertilized egg from attaching to their uterine wall, then yes, that is an act of killing or murder, of course.
Okay, so do you think all murderers should go to jail?
Do I think all murderers should go to jail? I mean, on third degree.
This is gonna be good. He even told the guys like, wait, I got something here. If you saw, I'd put his hand out for a second. This is gonna be a good point here.
third degree murder. However, no, I don't think women that got abortions or had IUDs should go to jail, because I think that they have been deceived by mass culture and mass propaganda. Secondly, the people who should go to jail are...
So, if you get deceived by any amount of propaganda or something, right? Say, you read an article from Turning Point or something like that, and it made you go out and kill somebody. Would that mean that you're not a murderer? Right? I mean, you were deceived. So how does that work? You dumb Charlie.
The abortionists, who are the ones that have been putting the abortion pill, the ones that have been doing procedures, the ones that have been going into the third trimester and breaking babies' backs and inserting them with syringes while the babies...
Yo, he's a nut, dude.
...are crying and suffocating, being born alive, and then being dead on the operating table. Okay. That is who should go to jail.
Oh.
That was actually the best point somebody made.
We'll have to talk about
I know.
that.
Dude, he's so gross. Oh my God, man. Like he enjoys this is the thing about debate. It is it's sport. So, a guy like Charlie is doing this for sport. It's for the display. More than anything about his actual beliefs. I mean, these are his actual beliefs, but it's fun for him to talk about this stuff. It doesn't get him upset in the same way that it gets people who really genuinely care about this and see the negative effect it has. It doesn't bother him in the same way it does for other people. So it can lead to these situations where he's just saying things that are really difficult for people to hear. And so they want to move on to the next point. But, that guy was making a good point. I'm sure he would have cooked if he went a little longer, but let's see what's happening next. This is the face of somebody who's about to make it.
Okay, whenever I'm talking about this discussion, I always go to the question of what about in the case of the mother when her life is in danger? Because I'm a big believer. I don't know. I'm still iffy on if I think it's or if it's murder or not. But even so,
Skip.
I mean, I don't want to say murder is justified. Guys, wait, let me just get this one point, and then you can vote me out. Give me 1 second. Say the mother gets pregnant, and she knows that if she gives birth, she's going to die. She has some kind of health complication. Then what do you do in that case?
Cesarean section.
I don't know what that means.
It's a C-section.
They do an insert. Guys, wait, hold on. Just give me 1 second.
They go right below the belly button, and they deliver the baby. And after she doesn't have to give birth, it's technically birth, but it's much safer. So that's actually safer than an abortion procedure.
No, it's not. No. That's a dangerous lie. A cesarean section is not safer than an abortion procedure. That's gross. He's disgusting.
Hello.
I just want to clarify, the thing that you're aiming for is less abortion, right? That would be what you would want, or at least no abortion.
Eventually, it's also a protection of those that can't protect themselves. But yes, and that's why after the reversal of Roe versus Wade, we saw abortions go down dramatically in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. We saw thousands of babies that are now alive and well that are able to have amazing lives thanks to the reversal of Roe versus Wade.
He's so gross.
I don't think a lot of that is true.
Well, it is, but
it's not true, because when you make abortion illegal, it doesn't actually decrease the amount of abortions that happen.
That's a nice talking point. In Texas, the numbers show differently. The birth rate has gone up.
Yeah, legal goes down, but illegal abortions still happen. Abortions still happen outside of whatever data you're showing.
That's not true, but let's just say, well, if you want to, well, first of all, if you count the abortion pill, you're right, but that's a separate thing than a chemical abortion and surgical abortion are different things. And I'm not debating you, I'm debating her. So if you want to do the flags and come back in, try and be faster next time. So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. So the question is, we should try to limit unjust suffering of human beings, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's my position, is that there's unjust suffering of anywhere between 1.4 to 1.6 million abortions a year of human beings that are being massacred in the womb. And so that's not a woman's rights issue, that's not a men's rights issue, that's just a human rights issue.
Yeah, this is bullshit, and this is gross. Ugh.
Okay, the best way to decrease abortions happening is proper sex education. Limiting abortion and making abortion...
Proper sex education, and not what we get in a lot of states across the country, which is abstinence only sex education. That does not work, okay? That can't happen. We need better sex education. We need better education on pregnancy in general, for not just for young people, but even for older people.
Making abortion illegal does not actually decrease the amount of abortions that happen.
So what is your evidence of that?
What is my evidence of that?
Because we have increased sex education in the last 30 years.
Our sex education is so bad in America.
Well, by bad, what do you mean by that? We have more access to birth control for young kids. We have more kids that are learning to use birth control at a younger age. We have more of that in our public school system, and we've seen all the trends actually going in negative.
Again, that's not necessarily true, because there's plenty of schools that are still doing abstinence-only sex education. And even in schools where you have access to some of these resources he's talking about, that doesn't necessarily mean that the education is up to snuff. It's certainly not. And all you need to do is look at society. You need to just look at guys like Charlie Kirk who are saying things like they're saying.
In negative direction. So, in fact, we see that the more sex education there is, the more disturbing those trends are. So you say that, let me ask just one more thing. You say that if we make abortion illegal, people will still do it. Should we then just make gang violence legal because
No, I'm
people
saying
still
if you
do it?
actually wanted to decrease the amount of abortions that happen, you wouldn't be advocating for to make abortion illegal. You'd be advocating for all
Does
of these
that
other
logic
things.
apply to stealing, looting, kidnapping, arson, and murder?
Well, actually, it does, because those are results of different
Okay,
societal
so-
issues
so-
that you should be
got it.
educating
So we
yourself
should
on,
make-
rather than making it
so we
illegal
should
at
make-
the front.
Should we make
All right, that's a very, very interesting and good point that was made there. A lot of these issues deal with societal issues, and lack of access to sex education is one of them. All the issues that Charlie just raised as crimes across the board, they come from some sort of material condition in life that is not being met. There's reasons that things happen, and that's not to say that all crimes should be legal or anything like that, but the reasons things happen need to be examined, right? So, and the true reasons. It can't just be like a vibes-based thing like Charlie does, where he says when we get rid of sex education, things get better. That's not true at all. And why would that work? If you're smarter and more educated on something, you can make better decisions. Why in the world would it work that if we are ignorant on these issues, things get better? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I hate you, Charlie.
should we make kidnapping, arson, burglary, murder legal because they're symptoms?
Burglary.
Symptoms of something else?
We should be helping society heal from
No,
those
you got to
things.
answer the question. We want less of those things. Should we just make them legal and we'll get less looting?
There's his smile again. I want to go back and look at that. His smile's so creepy.
We want less of those things. Should we just make them legal and we'll get less looting?
Ew. Conservative demon smile. I hate it.
Actually, I'm gonna let someone else
Thank you very much. Hi, Parker. Nice to meet you. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Big TikTok guy here.
So,
This is the guy. This is the guy I saw. This guy cooks him out. I guess he knows him ahead of time. It's Parker. He's a big TikTok guy.
So, pedophiles, people who were married to children in the past and normalized in that society, should they go to prison?
Should pedophiles?
If you could go back in time, would you put those pedophiles in prison that married those children because it was normalized? They were deceived into thinking it's okay. Would you put them in prison?
Exactly. Okay. This is the point we were talking about before, right? If you were deceived into thinking something, that makes it like you shouldn't go to prison. See, examine any one of Charlie's points down to the root core, and it's going to be hypocritical. It's not going to make sense, right?
You got to slow down.
Sorry.
Pedophiles should get the death penalty.
No. So you'd go back in the past, you'd give them the death penalty, even though they were deceived into thinking it was okay. But you said people who get abortions who are women shouldn't go
Hold
to
on a
prison.
second, but it's not currently illegal.
Okay.
But
Regardless,
pedophilia
at
is
that time,
current.
at that time, it wasn't.
No, I would not go back and retroactively enforce laws where things were currently not illegal.
You wouldn't put pedophiles in prison in the past.
Hold on a second. When was it illegal? When was it legal in America?
Well, child marriage was legal in America throughout the early 1900s, and especially throughout most of society for thousands of years, especially in the Old Testament and in the Bible.
Hold on a second. So where?
Okay. So yeah, he's whipping out. He's specifically saying that because Charlie, again, he's fundamentalist. So yeah, there's tons of instances in the Bible of child brides, and I mean, yeah, all through America in the past. You know what? It still happens today. There's there's weird laws all across the country that allow for that kind of stuff. So to say that it doesn't happen today is ridiculous. It's still going on.
Where is the Levitical law that allows you to marry a child?
Oh, yeah.
Can you name the verse?
Well, I can't name the verse, but the particular conditions that are enlisted in the Bible are that you have to meet physical maturity and emotional maturity, which is extremely vague and throughout society has been seen to be met at puberty.
There is not a verse, but let's kind of go
Okay,
back.
so when is the age of consent
abortion.
under your view?
Let's go back to, well, generally agreed upon it's 18 years old. But let me ask you
Because you don't go based on what's generally agreed, you go based on the Bible.
I say 18 years old, but let me ask you a question.
Where's that in the Bible?
When does life begin?
Conception.
Conception, great. So good. So should we protect all life at conception?
I care about sentient life, not
Sentient.
cellular
So
life.
when do brainwaves start?
Do you think brain dead people should be able to pull the plug on, like a family should be able to pull the plug on an individual in the family that's brain dead?
You got to answer the question. When do brainwaves start?
You can see brainwaves around 6 to 8 weeks, which in
I
brain
agree,
dead individual there are brainwaves as well. So the brainwaves necessary to produce a subjective experience are met until around 18 through 26 weeks in the womb.
Can you see it from my perspective that at 6 to 8 weeks those brainwaves will actually increase, not decrease, if allowed the process of development to continue?
Did you know those same EEG scans exist in brain dead people that you don't think are sentient?
No, but the difference with the brain dead people is that the likelihood of those brain waves actually increasing is very low at 6 to 8 weeks, when by 15 weeks they can hear the mom's
impossible.
voice.
It's irreversible sensation. That's what brain death is. I
Hold on,
didn't know that.
But no,
it's not coma.
But you're doing a red herring. Go back to
no, it's not. What's a red herring?
A red herring is where you avoid the topic and you say something that is adjacent or symmetrical to what I'm saying, but not actually what I'm saying.
You mean a reductio ad absurdum? That's not a red herring.
A 6 to 8 week baby.
I love that this guy is just debate lording him. I mean, like, this is what these like conservative dudes do all the time. And you can see Charlie's kind of on the back foot now. He's, just sort of pressuring him. And this is kind of what Charlie does to other people, right? Keeps talking. Define this, right? Say what this is. Make this as clear as humanly possible. This is good.
If they're allowed to continue to develop, what ends up happening?
At a certain point, it will become a sentient being in the future. The same way that if I keep engaging in sex with my girlfriend, there'll be a baby in the future. Yet I don't care about the
unless
sperm.
you're infertile, which we don't know. But let's see.
Okay, wait. Look, Charlie just kind of did it right there. He went right for the personal attack. Right for the personal attack, which has nothing to do with the argument, has nothing to do with anything else. He's trying to fluster him. So I don't think this dude gets flustered, if I'm remembering the clip right. He stays the course. But Charlie, I think, gets flustered.
See, the process of development, right? Why
do you want to answer my question yet?
Why do you have the ability or the right?
Should those child P3Os go to prison?
The process of
should the pedophiles go to prison?
From 1904. How many pedophiles are alive from 1904?
They're not alive, right? I meant like if you can go back in the past, hypothetically speaking, and you could put them in prison. Would you put them in prison?
I would have killed them myself if I was alive.
Okay, so then you don't apply it based upon what people are deceived.
You're so tough, Charlie. I would have killed them myself. Ugh, what a tough guy.
To believe you apply based on what you consider to be moral. So the women who had abortions, you think they should go to prison. So why should women who get abortions go to prison, but someone like my mom who told me that Santa Claus exists shouldn't go to prison because they're both sense?
Yeah, so basically what he's trying to say is the whole morality, right? And this kind of what Charlie was saying before, like when's moral viability, right? Well, if you're saying that your morality dictates that a child is viable at this point or whatever, and, there's murder XYZ and all murderers should go to jail, then why don't these women go to jail, right? Which, if Charlie were to say these women should go to jail, that would be, that just is the dumbest thing to say. And, I'm almost surprised he doesn't say it, but he's nuts. Again, I hate this guy.
Productive debate if you keep on talking over me.
Well, I was finishing my statement. You were talking over me. Go for it.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you think it would be a good thing if we had less abortions in America?
It depends on the context. Like, are the abortions prior to sentience?
Yes.
Because I think
all abortions.
No, it would not be necessarily
are
better
you against
unless it is the case that the people didn't want the abortions and it would be negatively impactful to their health medically.
Here's the thing about the question of more or less abortions too, and it's a terrible question. There's context to every abortion that's done. It's a medical procedure. It can't just be taken away. It shouldn't be taken away. Again, it's a decision between a person and their doctor. So to say, do you want more or less abortions? Nobody wants more abortions. They are an unfortunate, occasionally necessary part of life that is never a good thing or a fun thing or something that somebody looks forward to. It shouldn't be. It's not like a drug or something like that, you know, where you ban it or something like that. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to say it a million times. Just Charlie's so gross. Hate him.
Are you against late-term abortion?
After sentience, yes.
Okay, so you believe in an 8-week abortion ban?
Yeah. No, I don't. Sorry, I believe in an abortion ban after 18 through 26 weeks.
Okay, that's a more reasonable position. I have to give you credit for that.
It's similar to Trump's. 15 weeks?
Yeah, so why do you think that most people don't share your view on that?
Well, people just don't really know what sentience is. There's not a lot of conversation about abortion, and these conversations are very difficult. Like they're conceptually hard to go through, and I understand why a lot of people don't understand
for sure.
their positions on it.
So
but I think
I don't like how he kind of came around to like where he thinks abortion should be. Again, medical procedure with doctors involved. That's all there is to it. It's a personal medical procedure. Doctors will make the best decision. An individual will make the best decision. You're not in the position to make the best decision for the person. Nobody besides that individual and their doctor is.
I think people have aware of most cutting off. I thought we were cutting people off.
I was actually complimenting us. How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's, like, in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion is legal?
There's a very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do think that a couple cases it is legal?
There's a very... How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's, like, in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion should be legal?
There's a very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do think that a couple cases it is legal?
If cesarean section is not going to save the mother's life, and the mother's life is actually at risk, which is debated amongst growing numbers of OBGYNs,
Okay.
that is the only case where abortion should be
Do you
allowed.
think there should-
But people say that it is a growing consensus in the pro-life world that abortion is never medically necessary.
Okay. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was
Well,
going to give
I-
birth
I
and
do
she
have
would,
a
no,
daughter.
wait, oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her
Well,
rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic. The
It's
answer-
no, but it's a real life
Okay,
scenario
well,
that happens
calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard in my life. To make this point, to stick with your point after asked a question like that, you're talking about morality. Where do you get off? Where do you get off talking about morality? This is disgusting. This is such a disgusting thing to say. Yes, I feel so bad for Charlie Kirk's daughter in this scenario. This is monstrous.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was probably hopefully conceived by a somewhat
Which person here
loving
was
couple.
conceived by? Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights and
But
it's all
that
human
doesn't
beings.
matter.
So
It's about your daughter who has to.
That's such a disgusting point, man. Like his logic is like it removes all context from everything, right? Like it's so hard and fast that he has to say such disgusting things to stand by his point. And I'll just never ever understand people who stick by such a reprehensible decision, such a moralless decision, lacking any sort of morality. This guy calls himself religious, right? And the things he is having to agree to just to stand by his disgusting point. This is terrible. This is one of the worst things I've actually seen of the whole thing. This is really gross.
to give birth to it and is going to be tortured by that for the rest of her life. That's going to take away every freedom she's ever going to have. That's going to ruin her life. She's going to grow up and she's going to be attached to another thing.
The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant what human rights you get. But hold on 1 second. If a person conceived in walks down the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's not about that person.
The worst thing to do to the daughter is to then say, hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you.
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
This is scary. I really, really hope Charlie Kirk's daughter is never subjected to something like that, because this is, wow. It was like here's the thing, when actually put up to these real life scenarios that are horrifying and absolutely disgusting, he has to say, yeah, I would let that happen to his own daughter. This is so twisted, man. Man, the debate lord thing was like funny. This is not funny. This is just gross. Ugh.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of evil instead of...
Wouldn't that be a better story? Wouldn't that be a better story? There's no better story. There's no story getting better. If something terrible like that happens, there's no better story. Like, you approach the situation with what it needs, and this is villainous, man. This guy is a villain. This is why I think it's so important to discuss like what these takes are. Like, these people are putting disgusting stuff into the world. This is so harmful to get people on board with this way of thinking, especially against something that, again, medical decision, nothing to do with you, doesn't affect you, is just simply you going around saying, I believe this, you can never change my mind, and I should be able to control what you do. There's a reason why people like Charlie Kirk and extreme right-wingers are called fascists, because these are fascist ideals. You don't get to make a medical decision for your body because we have declared that that's not what we're doing. Dude, fuck this guy.
Instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil. No, what makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
It's not about the being and the cells. No, it's not about...
What an absolutist way of thinking. Black and white, no context. We do good after evil. First of all, as the West, that's just not how things have gone historically. As the West, we do a lot of evil. We do a lot of bad things. The government does a lot of bad things. We fund a lot of terrible things. We're funding bad things right now, right? I mean, the reason why the genocide in Gaza is one of the biggest discussed things, the plight of the Palestinian is one of the biggest discussed things right now, is because we have a direct involvement in that. So no, the West doesn't do good when evil is done. We a lot of times just do evil when evil is done. So Charlie Kirk has no place to ever say who does good in this world. He's not doing good.
Cells. No, it's not about... No, I'm speaking. 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 No, I'm speaking.
Want to say one more time?
No, I'm speaking.
Got it.
Thank you. So it's not... I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the person...
No,
I'm talking about the...
I do like just seeing these college students get so heated at Charlie. Like, he sucks. Look at his face right now, dude. Oh my God. Like... He's so gross. Look at how happy he is that he's making this college student feel bad. This is like, I hate him.
Person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't care. No, listen. The fetus, the whatever.
Okay, wait. We're just gonna note every time he does that creepy.
No, I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't care. No, listen.
That's the worst. That's the worst smile I've ever. He's got a. I'm sorry. Like, I know you can't control your face. I know you didn't choose any of these things. You got to turn that off, Charlie. You got to stop that.
The fetus, the whatever. I don't care about that right now until it is formed. If there is a 5-year-old child who is pregnant and the baby is 2 weeks in utero,
can't get pregnant.
actually they have, and they have given birth. There is
given pregnant.
There is one recorded case of a 5-year-old girl who gave birth.
Is that common?
Yes, it's common. 5-year-olds get sometimes, and if they get pregnant, I think they should be able to have medical access to something that could save not only just their life, but like their livelihood.
How many, I'm curious.
I hope your daughter lives a very happy life and gets away from you.
Okay, so that is really nasty. And so her belief system, just so we're clear.
A round of applause after that. Yo, I got to give a round of applause too. That was, because he's a monster. He's a monster. Like, yeah, that's a personal attack. It's like a really, really difficult thing to hear. He should feel bad about it. He should feel terrible.
So we're clear, is that... Yeah, no, I got it. It's fine. I mean, it's insanely nasty, and we'll talk again. My next claim is that college is a scam.
He got hurt from that one. That's great to see. I do like to see that. Man, this is tough. God, and this is a long video too. I'm gonna cap it at the first question here, and if you want to see me, I'll go over the next one too. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. But this was crazy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, again, I'm gonna say what I said before. Abortion, it's a medical decision. It's a personal decision. You decide with your doctor what's right for you. And if you don't want to have an abortion because you don't believe in it, religious or otherwise, whatever your reason is, that's fine. You don't have to get one, okay? You shouldn't stop other people from having their own bodily autonomy, okay? This is yet another way that people try to strip rights away from other people, which is the most disgusting thing you can do. As a human, you should not be trying to take other humans' rights away, okay? It's just disgusting. Charlie really made himself look awful in this whole thing. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the video is like. I may come back and revisit it and do another video about the next question. But I feel like it was important just to sit on this one for a second and reflect on it, because he said some really harmful things. He said some really difficult things. He got really, really happy when he was making people feel bad. And beyond that, and then when somebody made him feel bad, he got extremely hurt over it. So that's really nasty. That's a nasty thing to say. But, I think it's a nasty thing to say that, if something terrible happened to your daughter, you would have her give birth to the child, because that's just what is good and right. I don't know. I don't even know how you can actually sum that up as something that's positive. But I mean, we're going to leave Charlie with that. We're going to leave Charlie with that. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about this guy. I hope that if you followed along here, you also think that he's a terrible monster. Let me know in the comments below. I know that this was, it's kind of difficult to talk about these things, but it's important to. It's important to look at this stuff and to see what's being said. And it gives me a lot of hope for the younger generation. I'm an old fart now. I'm a millennial like Charlie. But I have a lot of hope for the younger generation that is getting pretty good at debating and dismantling a lot of these ideas, because that I feel like that one guy did good in the typical online debatey sort of way, but I feel like other people did good as well. The girl who went last, I feel like did really great at just making Charlie admit to some extreme areas of his philosophy where it's hard to call yourself moral. He was talking about some things that are really, really disgusting. So, even though some people might say, oh, that person got emotional, I don't think she won the debate in that way. I think a lot of people would look at that and go, wow, Charlie, that's really gross. I hope his daughter never sees this and never sees what he said about her. And I hope that she does get away from him and live a happy life, not under that kind of man, patriarchal nightmare. I don't even know what else to call that. But thank you guys for hanging with me. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. That's going to help me out a lot. I've got a video about Bill Maher coming up soon. This is the song from it. It's going to be called BM because Bill Maher is a BM.
He's doing it again. They call him Bill Maher. I call him BM. Rubber blood dripping out of his head. Well, it's such a cold take of his sentences. Another acid for the right. He'll live vomit on a Friday night. An old boomer sending progress back. Nightmare on rotation, front of the back.
Check out my video about Seinfeld and how he's a huge creep.
There's another element there that I think is the key element, and that is an agreed upon hierarchy.
It's not the industry, honey. It's the whole gender. It's men and women. This is about men and women.
You just called me honey.
Yeah. Because you got to get with this.
Woody Allen, innocent or guilty?
Don't care.
There was a lot of activity, let's call it, frivolity.
I miss a dominant masculinity. Yeah, I get the toxic thing. I get. But still, I like a real man.
Men and women, chase after each other, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Again, thank you guys for joining me today. I'm Hellion.Vision. I'm going to see you next time.